Final hour for the week. Overdrive continues. Brought to you by FanDuel, bringing you everything from the opening line to the final score. Bryan Hayes, Doug, Jeff O'Neill, Jamie Noodles McLennan, big hour. Dear Hayesy-B in a half an hour. That's when we help people, right? We're always here to help people, but we really, really dial up our abilities and our energy and our attention to helping people. So we intend on doing that in a half an hour, and we look forward to it. And James Duthie will join us here in a few moments as well. And get JD's take. JD's, he's a highfalutin guy. He's an A-class guy. How he would respond to being gifted. Let's say his last day at TSN, everyone pools money together. We get him an $80 bottle of red. Like, would Duthie be insulted by that?
$50 Visa card?
Yeah, something like that.
You know what he would say? He's got some class. He would say, the fact you did something is nice enough.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. The guy was here like 20 years and was like a staple, like rock star, face of the organization, everything. You'd expect a motorcycle, a car, something.
I think anything short of like Studio 6 being named the James Duthie Studio,
right,
will be unacceptable to him. I would guess JD has visions of that, 10, 15 years from now.
You think Studio 6 is going to be named the James Duthie Studio?
Yes, I do.
Might be.
I absolutely do. I think that's where we're trending. And I think that would be more impressive than an $80 bottle of red. And if you're not familiar with his story, Miguel Cabrera, Miggy was in Oakland. Beautiful Oakland, California. Within, 45 minutes of Napa Valley? Right?
Yeah.
Napa's arguably the greatest vineyards in the world.
Yeah, there's
especially for Cab. Like, you got a rich red wine. It's beautiful. Beautiful wine country.
Yeah.
And, Miggy's doing the tour. He's shaking hands, kissing babies with all these different teams all over the league as he's going to retire at the end of the year. He's got, 3,100 hits, couple of MVPs, Block Hall of Famer, Triple Crown.
I guarantee you Jimmy would also say, I don't think they owe him anything.
We'll see about that. But the Oakland A's got him an $80 bottle of wine. And my theory is that no one had anything prepared.
They forgot it.
They totally forgot, and they were sitting around the cage during batting practice, and we're like, well, you were supposed to get it.
Yeah.
No, I thought you were getting something. It's like, all right, go find a bottle of something. And, they should have just given the guy a bat. Tell the team to sign a bat. He'd probably prefer that. Sign a bat, although he probably doesn't know anyone on Oakland. Sign a bat for Miggy and then move on with your business. He got injured last night, too. He left the game. Detroit, I think, beat up on Oakland 7-3, 7-4 last night.
He's shutting the mill, right?
Yes, it's over. Yeah, because his contract's finally he would have shut the mill, I think, a couple of years ago if the contract.
But he played it out?
Yeah, he signed one of those wild, long-term deals, which was
Pujols deal type of thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Like a long-term, big money deal in Detroit.
If he blew out his hip or something, I can't imagine how, he'll be going. And I don't know what he does if he still drinks or has a good time. But if you're injured and you got 10 days left in the big leagues, it is go time.
No, yeah, it's. I think he's ready to shut it down. He's going into the Hall of Fame. He's had a great career, and Detroit's not going anywhere either. I mean, we can goof on Oakland all we want. The fact is, Detroit, they have been a terrible team for a number of years.
That's tough watching him the last couple of years.
Yeah,
maybe. What do you think? The last 4?
Oh yeah, at least.
Yeah, it's just like, wow.
Some guys are still getting it done. I mean,
no,
Joey
I know,
Votto.
but just why? I don't even think when it comes to Miggy, I don't even think that he was really wanting to play the last 4 years. It was like, I got to stick it out. I'm getting paid all this money, and I'm not leaving it on the table. And it's just, you guys know when you see somebody finish it out and it's not exactly glorious, it's not good. It's not fun.
No.
It's not good for anybody.
Well,
but when there's the paydays involved, you're sticking around.
Yeah,
but did the fans take it out on him? That's the thing. If they were a playoff team, and
I don't think the fans ever gave it to him.
No, I don't think so. But I think you're right, Noodles. It's probably better that the team stinks.
Right.
So now you can just celebrate Miggy. Where if it's like they're actually a good team or trying to perform, you're like, this guy cannot be in the lineup. He can't play anymore. Then it becomes more awkward. It is much easier to have a farewell kind of dance around the league on a terrible team than it is a competitive team.
Celebrate the player instead of having to worry about wins and losses.
Exactly. Wins and losses are largely irrelevant in Detroit. Yeah. But they're trying to turn a page. They're young. They're getting better. I mean, the Tigers at some point, I think, will turn that corner. But it's not going to be with Miguel Cabrera. So that's the end of the road for Miggy, and, gifted a bottle of wine last night.
Yeah.
And I have to believe if James Duthie was gifted an $80 bottle of wine for his swan song, he'd be insulted
But
by
keep
that.
in mind, too, though.
Bring him in and
James
ask
is
him
on-
if Miggy deserved
He's
anything.
on a high right now because his Giants are playing pretty well. Brock
Niners?
Purdy. I'm sorry.
Niners.
Niners. So,
Yes.
yeah, the Niners.
He should be.
Beat the
They're 3-0.
Giants, yeah.
He should be. Well, again,
He's on a high.
I would guess when Miggy played the Giants, he probably got hooked up.
Yeah.
He
big
goes
bottle of
across the bay. He doesn't get anything. Here's James Duthie from TSN. What's up, JD?
I would like the studio to be named after me, but only post-mortem. I wanted the Duthie Memorial Studio.
Yes. I think
But
it's...
I would have a lot of competition because there's been shows galore in that studio. For the listeners, the studio we work in at TSN used to be like the old CTV studio where they did shows like Bazaar and what are those, maybe not Super Dave Osborne, but
Ooh.
all sorts of shows.
Really?
Wow.
Bizarre was taped here? That
Maybe
would
it
be
was
unbelievable.
Yeah, one of those. Well, there was another one, like maybe Circus. Was there an old CTV show called Circus or something?
I don't know. Super Dave,
Lions
though,
and
man.
pandas flying around there.
SCTV? That would have been
There were these old boxes when we first moved into the studio. I was scrounging around these old boxes, and I found Deanie Petty.
You're kidding.
Wow.
Legend of daytime.
Deanie Petty used to be in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Deanie Petty.
So it'll probably be the Deanie Petty studio before, not Memorial. Deanie Petty's still alive, right? I don't want to. I hope you're still out there.
What the
Deanie.
point is, Jimmy, when you do step away, is that something that you expect?
No.
Thank
But
you.
if
So the
something
thing
from
we're
you-
talking about, something that we were talking about.
I like the $80 bottle of red wine.
Yeah.
No, I would just I know that you guys won't. Well, maybe noodles, but you guys won't give me anything. So thus, I don't expect anything. Would be a surprise.
Yeah,
Give
but
me
what
a
about
little
Miggy
sleeve of
Cabrera? Do you think
O-Dog
he has the
92
right to complain
golf
about the wine?
No.
Exactly.
Any gift
Exactly.
is nice. While
Thank
we're on
you
this
very much.
etiquette stuff, okay? While we're on this, you just reminded me of something. Can I do like a Ask Hayesy-B, but I don't necessarily want to ask Hayesy-B. I want to throw it out to everyone, maybe more in particular Noodles, who might have a more unbiased opinion on this.
Sure,
All right,
go
fair
ahead.
enough.
Okay, scenario. I just want to throw out a scenario, and I want to know how I should feel about this and a friend and friendship and etiquette and so on and so forth. So, scenario. You get invited by two good friends, two prominent businessmen to play their very exclusive golf course, okay? One of the best in the GTA. You and a friend get invited. It's a rare invite for me, so I'm super excited. Happens in the summer. Weather cancels the event, so it gets put off. But the date is reset quickly on the group text. Reset quickly. So okay, now I'm excited. I go away for a while. I go to Europe with my wife, but I can't wait to come back because I'm going to play this golf course.
Yeah.
So 2 days before the event, the group text goes, "Hey, everybody's still good for Tuesday," right? That's an obvious thing. And your friend
Yeah.
invited to this prestigious golf course with you chimes in and says, no, can't make it, busy. So you're taken aback, and now the two prominent businessmen are like, well, I guess we can't do it. Maybe we'll do it another time. And Jimmy's at home going, well, no, I want to play. I want the invite.
Right.
And then, wait a second. So, Noodles, you're already a little upset at your
Yeah.
friend, right?
Yeah.
A little bit?
Absolutely.
Justifiably. Then you find out he played golf somewhere else. He got what my friend group calls a BO, a better offer.
Wow.
Well,
And it's called a BO because
Oh,
it stinks.
was this on a
I just want
Tuesday
to know,
by
Noodles,
chance?
it was this
unbiased
week.
opinion, how do I interpret the friendship now? And how do you?
Well,
You go ahead,
This is
Noodles,
a-
and then I got to jump in here and
this is
defend whoever that. Oh, I was about to use
it
that
is
word.
a gutless.
Whoever that clown is
Yeah.
that did that to you.
I don't know. Friend is very loose term now, but that is a gutless move. I don't know what happened or who these people are, but you might have to block their numbers in your phone. That's how bad
I
it
only
is.
want to know one thing. What was the original course planned to play? And I will tell if it's justified.
Goodwood.
Totally justified. It was totally justified. If I think I know who you guys are talking about.
It happened to be Dear Hayesy-B. I'm putting myself in on this because it's me that he's talking about here.
Oh, no.
And listen, the problem is JD and these other two esteemed gentlemen.
Let's just say Donnie Nichols, Doug Hayes, two terrific guys.
Great guys.
Very successful gentlemen, hence their membership at the fine Goodwood Golf Club. Rare invite from both of them.
Awesome guys. Donnie's a good friend of mine, good friend of yours. Oh, we love Donnie.
Yes.
And he's very, very charitable to have us out there. And yes, JD, you're right. This had been something that had been in the works for a while. But JD flies to Europe first class, right? Is over there living a 5-star lifestyle. And I think Doug was doing the same thing. Donnie was doing the same thing. I'm the only guy who's just been sitting in the city saying, you let me know when we can play.
Right.
So I was always like, thumbs up, I'm in, guys. Like, it's up to you.
Yeah.
And then, so a month ago, it was like, well, the 19th, I totally forgot. And O calls and goes, we're playing the Nash.
Yeah.
So what am I going to say? Turn down the Nash? I mean, come on. Oh, you could speak to that.
I think you guess literally anybody or anything for the Nash. You do. It's that kind of experience.
Exactly. And I came back with other options. I said, what about this day? What about that? No, feathers, I'm out. And I understand why the boys are pissed. It was kind of a greasy move, but it's the Nash. I mean, James.
I was just brought up in a way that, the Nash is a great invite, but I've already made a commitment. I've made a commitment to some other friends.
Yeah.
And maybe, if the Nash is meant to be, it'll be meant to be some other time.
Let me ask you this.
That is the integrity
Is the
play.
other course in question, it's not
Great
like,
spot.
But it's not Drager's Goat Track or
No,
whatever.
it's a phenomenal place.
Sick. It's really good.
Extremely exclusive.
Really cool. Great people.
Yeah.
I'll just say, look, the round happened anyway because I refused to let the invite go by, even though they tried to cancel. And there was a lot of hurt feelings out there.
I know.
And I found myself wanting to defend your name, but unable to.
No,
but let me get to the last part of it.
Not easy to do.
Please tell me that you just told them, guys, something's come up. I'm busy. You didn't say.
I didn't say I was playing the Nash. I just wrote back and said, and I genuinely forgot. I was like, I forgot a month ago we said we were doing, so when you and I had already connected with Darren and Sammy and we were going. So it was just simply, I had too much on my plate and I was like, can we do a different day because I'm playing the Nash?
Because 4 o'clock that day on Tuesday, you're like, great round, had the round of my life. I was like, you guys talked about it.
That's the stupidity.
And played with some amazing people, gave them shout-outs. Meanwhile, you threw Duthie and his crew right under the bus.
I know.
I'm checking the group text right now just to see if, I might have appreciated more a straightforward, hey, guys, got an opportunity to play the Nash with O. But the text was, sorry, boys, can't do Tuesday.
That is somewhat greasy.
Tuesday. It was can't do twos.
Yeah, can't do twos because I'm too busy to write D-A-Y.
Wow.
Can't do twos because I have so much on my plate and I have so many options. And listen, we were talking about it on the Monday. Donnie sent me a text saying, did you just say you're playing the Nash tomorrow? You're supposed to play with me, you buffoon.
Oh, no, that is so greasy,
It's
dude.
really greasy. And believe me, I would have, if I could have played 36, I totally screwed it up. It was a scheduling conflict. And then in the end.
Got a better offer, though. That's what it was.
In the end, I didn't want to jam up O. And, I know these guys more than the other guys. Your boys at the Nash, Darren, I don't know them, right? So I didn't want to be rude and pull the pin on them the day before. So I was like, I'll pull the pin on JD.
That's
and Donnie and Doug. But I'll make it up to you guys.
Yeah,
you know that.
I just
bottle of Camus for the boys.
I thought our friendship was something.
Yeah, it is.
Now I've realized it's something else, and it's just going to take a little while to come to terms with.
Okay. Yeah. Bottle of Camus for the boys. That's what's coming. All right, $80 a pop. That's what I'll bring to the table, and we'll make it happen. Does it feel like hockey's in the air, JD? Obviously, you're still golfing a lot, but are you getting the sense that things are cooking throughout the city and throughout the country, or what?
Well, yeah. I mean, certainly everybody wants to talk about it now. I personally, even though I host games, I'm not ashamed to say I hate the preseason. I don't mind. I love the talk and, where's Willie going to play and is Willie going to sign and this, that, and the other thing. That's all fun. I loathe the preseason. The games are just so useless. there's, maybe one roster decision maybe to be made, and you're just going through the motions. So I don't like this part of it. If I could fast forward to opening night right now, I would, but I'm sure you guys get this too. I get, you're out golfing or something in the summertime, you're on vacation, and guys always say, bet you're excited about hockey season, right?
Yeah.
And like in mid-July, I am not the least bit excited about hockey season. But when September turns, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Jimmy, how important do you think, it doesn't come up that much. I think we usually do a segment in the Stanley Cup playoff preview, but for the drought to end in this country, regardless of any team, just to get something cooking for a Canadian team to win the Stanley Cup, where do you put that as far as importance? Do you think somebody needs it? The country needs it?
Yeah, I do. And it'll be really interesting when it gets, let's say it's the Leafs or the Oilers or whoever gets to a Stanley Cup final at some point and it's within the grasp, because, I'm really interested to see how the nation reacts, because, we're not really a collective hockey nation except when the Olympics happen, whenever they go, which isn't very often, but it's really just 7 different hockey nations. And I think for the most part, all the other fan bases are just going to be super jealous and angry at the one that wins it. But maybe not. Maybe it's been so long that, Leafs fans aren't going to be happy if it's the Habs. Flames fans aren't going to be happy if it's the Oilers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I think it's gotten so long now that I think there would be some sort of national relief. The math on this, and you need, Jonas or somebody who's better at that stuff than me, but it's really insane. What is the year? How many years is it now?
30 years now. 93 Habs.
Okay, so 93 to have 7 out of for a while it was 30. Now it's 32. It's basically a quarter of the league, right? So essentially, a Canadian team should win the Stanley Cup just in pure math every 4 years, right?
Yeah.
Basically, a quarter of 25%. So every 4 years, a Canadian team should win the Stanley Cup, and for that to be, that's a massive statistical anomaly for it to not happen for that long. If you rolling dice or whatever, to have that combination not come up for 30 years. Is there something to it? I think maybe there is with the pressure in Canadian markets and such, but man, it's got to end in the next, let's say, 5 years.
Yeah.
I just think somewhere along the way, everything falls into place for somebody. Right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's going to be Toronto, but for somebody, I just think, kind of like you get Florida last year is a bad example because they didn't win, but everything kind of fell into place to get them to the Stanley Cup final. And some years it just everything just works. And I think that's bound to happen for a Canadian team at some point here.
Yeah. And it's such a level of desperation. All anyone's asking for is one. Yet you look at Pittsburgh, Chicago, LA, Tampa,
multiple.
Exactly. Why is it just get one and then the country can breathe because it finally happened? And the narrative...
is it stupid crazy that Edmonton won one and then 2 years later the Leafs and then 5 years later Ottawa or Montreal did again?
Exactly. Or a dynasty.
Vancouver. Vancouver. 3 cups in 4 years. I don't know. Something. Give us something.
Why not?
Well, and then we had that run, when I first started hosting hockey, we had that run where, Calgary got to the final and came that close against Tampa. And then Edmonton got to the final against Carolina, which was a very winnable Stanley Cup. And then Ottawa got there against Anaheim. There was back-to-back Canadian teams getting chances, and then it just went dry for an awful long time. So, and I tell you, when I was most depressed about it was way back when. And I think it was Anaheim. No offense to the Ducks or their fans, but I remember the Ducks winning the Cup against Ottawa in 5 games in Anaheim. And, we did our hits or whatever for, half an hour after the game and then walked out of that rink. And there was not a single person around. Now, that says something a little bit more about the location of the rink in Anaheim and such, but there are bars and such around that area, and there was nobody there. Everybody went in and cheered like crazy that they won the Stanley Cup, and then everybody went home.
That is crazy, though. That is weird, eh?
It was weird, and it was the same for Carolina in 6, although, again, we tried to go to a bar after we'd done our work, and nothing was open at midnight, and they just won the Stanley Cup. And as a Canadian hockey fan, that just like drives you, again, no offense to either of those fan bases. The fans all went nuts, and I'm sure they went home and were happy. But it's just when you think about what it would be like in any of the Canadian cities, it's mega. Like when Ottawa won one game in that Stanley Cup final, they basically shut the entire downtown down, and it was like Canada Day times 10 that one night when they won one game on the way to losing the Cup final in 5. So that, I think that's the frustrating part is, when it happens, it's going to be fantastic, and it's one of these cities, all these cities deserve it to happen at some point.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, that is that's a bad feeling though. Like you come out of the rink and it should be all hell breaking loose. And
Bedlam
it's just
everywhere.
cricket.
It's sickening. Well, like, again, we talked about South Florida, and South Florida is a different beast.
Right.
And this is purely anecdotal, what I've heard. It doesn't mean it was the case everywhere. But on nights where the Heat and the Panthers were both playing, like, the Panthers were nowhere. Like, nowhere. Like, you'd go to a bar, and people are like, we're not putting that on. We have 15 TVs. They're all in the Heat. Panthers are in a Cup final. And you can't, like, no one was paying it. It was a nuisance because it was taking away from the fact that
Dude, I don't know about that. All the Canucks up that are living down there.
Fine, some Canadians, but that doesn't mean locals were sitting there.
Buddy, when
paying
Carolina
attention.
was in the final, we couldn't get the game in our hotel. But that was, I think that was, what was that thing called that that network in the States?
Versus or something.
Yeah, Versus. So I think it wasn't more of a fan thing. It was more of, like, Versus didn't have the cable distribution to be shown in the hotel, which is another embarrassment. But
no kidding.
Yeah, it's just, and I think that's just a frustrating thing for all Canadian fans. Like I said, there's good fans in all of these cities, and it was, Chicago won the Cup. Even when LA won the Cup with that LA Live there, it was pretty good, and the bars were pretty jammed after. But it's just such a shame that we haven't been able to enjoy it. And like I said, I just think. I don't have a reasonable explanation to why I think it'll happen other than it's just time. That's, again, I'm not saying this year, but somewhere in the next, 3, 4, 5, it's got to happen.
Prediction for Connor Bedard, points, goals, you name it, rookie of the year.
I just did. I'm sure you guys all did the top 50 list. I got to mine about today after the 8th email from Mike Lane to get it done. And, I threw him 35.
No, stop
that was
it.
a bit rich.
Do you think we're dummies? Do you think we're dummies?
I do. He wasn't in my top 50.
I put him at 50.
You're stupid.
No.
You're stupid.
Well, again, and just for the listeners, we're not. It's a projection. So
right.
What we're supposed to say is who are going to be the top 50 players in the NHL this year, and I just. It's bold. It is his rookie year, but I just looked at the guys I had in like 35 to 50 and some really good players, like the Nugent Hopkins type of guys and Rupe Hintz. But I look at the stuff Bedard does and I say, hey, there's no reason he can't be better than those guys. He's special this year. So I don't know. Like it's tough on a crappy team, although we'll get lots of opportunities. I'm going to say 28 goals and I don't know, like 69 points or something like that.
That's not 35th in the league.
Yes, but they're going to be dynamic goals and dynamic points.
Yeah, I guess if you add dynamic.
So I put him at 50 on my list because I do believe that he's going to have, like, I think he's going to get
just
more.
so you could say he's on your list. If he's at 50, then if he has a good year, you can say, I had him at 50.
You're just so negative. You honestly ruin everyone's
not
mood.
Negative.
You just want to crap on it. Like,
I'm not negative.
I'm an expert, and I go to the World Juniors. I watch the guy.
I'm a man, and I'm 40.
Yeah, I'm a man, and I'm 40.
What you just said. I'm a man, and I'm 40. That's basically what you just said.
That's exactly right.
Sorry, guys, can't do twos.
Yeah. Can't do twos. Can't do Tuesday.
Can't put Connor in the top 50.
Can't put him in the 50.
I gotta say, Jimmy,
Not doing
like
it.
I understand. I'd gas anybody or anything for the Nash, but if he pulled a pin on me, the guys that set this up basically for Hay would have been pissed.
Exactly.
Like,
I would have been
pissed.
screwed that way. I was screwed either way. And the truth is, you would ask me like an hour before. You said, "Are you good?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'll see you there tomorrow." You texted me Monday. An hour later, Donnie sends the text. It's like, "So we're good tomorrow." I'm like, "Why didn't you send me that last?" I forgot. It was a month ago. Duffy's been to Europe and back.
I'm going to tell you this to make you feel a little bit better. This just popped into my mind. I blew off a bunch of buddies once. Now, this is not quite the same situation because it wasn't planned for a month or something, but I got an invite to wherever, some Club Link course or whatever. And then I got the invite from Pooley to play St. George's.
Oh.
And so, but I didn't have the heart to tell the guys, so I just kind of said I had to work. Yeah. And then Pooley got a hole in one. And they wanted to take a group photo, and I said, guys, I can't be in the photo.
That's good. That's St. G's, though, right? Like Goodwood is one of the 20,
I also
25
told my
best.
wife I was working that day, so I couldn't put the photo anywhere on social media.
I'll tell you what's
I have a lot of golf days where I tell the wife I'm working.
Right.
I tell you what's kind of
Sneaky.
the in thing to do is just ghost the people. Like, just don't show up, no note, no nothing.
That's
and then,
so greasy.
dude,
I'm
I
not
just
doing
say
that.
give it a shot.
I'm Mr. Negative. You're ghosting people.
Yeah.
Because I don't have Bedard scoring 50 in his rookie year. Get serious. All right, JD. Well, I hope we helped you with your Dear Hayesy-B. I'm not sure we did.
Yeah, no, I like I said, I'm just going to continue to evaluate the friendship and see where it goes from here forward.
All right.
I'm a
Okay.
guy who gives multiple chances, so we'll see what happens.
All right,
It's
buddy.
good to get back on the radio program with you gentlemen, and I look forward to another year of me coming on like once a month when somebody cancels.
Yes, we appreciate your flexibility. Thank you, pal. We'll do it again
Okay,
soon.
boys.
There's
See you later.
James Duthie, TSN. Love JD. Yeah, I missed out on that.
That's a tough
I'm not going to live that one down. And again, we have a show, so we're talking about it. And I admitted what I was doing. And again, I threw out other options. I said, what about this day, that day? Sorry, guys. Meanwhile, this doesn't get brought up. All summer, it's been a back and forth. Every time, I'm like, I'm good. It's always these, can't. Oh, I forgot. Oh, I'm going to Europe. Oh, I'm doing Cabot.
Right.
And then the one time, I'm like, sorry, guys. I'm the loser. I'm the bad guy.
Well,
You know?
it just
You can't win.
basically you were forced to make a decision, and you chose door number 2.
Just like Duthie said, he chose St. G's over Goat Track.
Thing is, though, he
number
hid
4.
it from those guys. He didn't get the picture and all that. A couple hours later, you're talking about it on a national TV show.
Yeah, that's
radio TV.
probably not a lot of self-awareness.
And then
I gotta
talking
tell
about
you,
Admittedly.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, we ham and egged all around. They're still buzzing about that up at the National.
They are buzzing.
Right?
Are buzzing.
They're buzzing. All right. We'll come back with Dear Hayesy-B. Best Bets brought to you by FanDuel later in the hour. OverDrive continues, TSN 1050 and on the TSN app.
Insight, the ability to see and understand why you do the things you do.
Dear Hayesy-B.
We're going to go down there and have a donkey barbecue, and I'm going to furnish the ass, right?
You don't want to hide a Mars bar in your sleeping bag when there's a bear outside the tent.
You guys know the deal.
Yep.
You write to us, and we help you. There is a Dr. Phil element here, and we are getting recognition across the country. Mm-hmm. We don't want to take any of the credit. We kind of acknowledge and move on.
Yeah, it's not self-fulfilling. We're here to help other people.
We're doing our job.
That's right.
And this one got my attention rather quickly. And we got to deal with it. Dear Hayesy-B, a few years ago, my best friend started seeing a new chick who had us over for a big shindig. We took it deep that night, and that same friend passed out and pissed his pants on the couch. He had serious heart eyes for this girl, in quotation, still dating, so I took it on the chin for him to be a good pal. It was tough, but he would do the same. On Monday, I find out this girl's sister just got hired at my work, and I am seriously concerned she's going to spread the word that I'm a loser that urinates himself at parties. Do I continue to be an incredible friend or throw that moron under the bus and save my professional reputation?
I'm a little bit concerned how this is becoming a weekly theme, like guys getting
how drunk are
blackout
these guys
and,
getting?
Yeah, like soiling themselves. It seems like maybe you want to take a foot off the gas pedal every once in a while.
I'm telling you, this guy's a soldier. I think he pulls the sister aside and says, so you know I did this because of that.
Right.
Because he's got to protect his job and his reputation. And I don't think you throw the guy under the bus per se. You're just saying, like, he really likes your sister. He really like this is what friends do for each other.
I think it depends on the job, though, right? If it's a job where it's not going to matter if people know what you're up to in your personal life.
He's a lawyer or a
But that's what I'm
therapist
saying. If you're there
or something.
representing people, you're a teacher or something. It's like, okay,
Right.
you're around kids or whatever. Then you got to be considering what people might know about your personal life. So I do think the job in and of itself is probably an important detail here. But no, I think there's probably a way you can have your cake and eat it too, which is what you're suggesting, Noodles. A little pull aside, hey, just a heads up. And the reason why is really into your sister. That makes sure she's like, yeah, I like him, and he's obviously really respectful, blah, blah, blah. But you also save yourself any possible trouble where this woman might think you're a lunatic that
or there's
does really stupid stuff.
A whisper at the office where it's like, hey, we're having a party on Thursday night, everybody. And she leans to one of her coworkers and go, we got to keep an eye on that guy because he needs to wear a diaper.
That's
when he's
never
out
good.
At night.
Never,
That's not good.
Ever good.
I think you can leave a random note. By the way, that wasn't me. One of those deals.
Yeah, that's possible too. You got to take care of
yourself. Crumpled up note, drop it in the purse on the way by.
Yeah.
By the way, that was so and so that did that.
And listen, if they're deep enough into the relationship, she's not going to get rid of the guy because of what happened, a long time ago. That's another thing you got to consider.
Yeah.
All right, what else do we have?
Dear Hayesy-B, a buddy of mine has been having some marital issues and been sleeping in the spare room at my place the last 3 weeks. Ooh. Every day he says things are getting better, but he ends up here. I've started seeing a lady friend myself in the last few months and can really see a future with her, but his constant presence is interfering with some of our extracurricular activities. Do I be a good friend and keep letting him stay over or be selfish and kick him to the curb?
No, you got to be a good friend here. I mean, this guy's going through some serious life stuff, right? Like if we're talking marriage and this guy's been out for 3 weeks, like that's moving in a direction, and it would suggest that he's fighting to get back in the house. Like he's fighting to make sure everything's all good, and he's not winning that. That means this guy's in a really tough place. Like it'd be one thing if he was stepping in, and now he's starting to date other people. He's throwing parties. You got some other guy off the street who's up there that playing a guitar, and it's like, what the hell are you doing here?
Yeah.
This guy's coming basically to your house, staring at the wall, and is like, I don't know what's going to happen in my life. You gotta keep that option open for him.
And just close the door. If he doesn't need to see you swinging off a trapeze or whatever you're doing.
Right, figure it out.
Just close the door, buy him some headphones, buy those blackout things to go over your eyes, and that's it.
Well, and whoever you're seeing, she doesn't have a place? Like it can't be a road game.
Yeah,
like how about hit the road and let him have the place to himself.
I think you gotta. There's only one way around this. You say, look, you want to hang out here. You see my girl walk in the door. You go to Boston Pizza for 3 hours and then come back.
That's valid. I think that's a reasonable conversation to have.
What if it's 1:30 in the morning though?
Doesn't matter.
Boston
go to an after hours club. Do something. Take a 3 hour break.
Yeah, go for a walk.
Wow.
Okay. I think that's reasonable. I do. Yeah. I think there's something, again, in the middle. That's why we're here. We're helping.
Yeah, we're helping.
There is some circling back involved here from Josh. I wrote in a few months ago about my Uncle Marty. You said at his age he would get worn out. Well, he just got his second wind and is trying to plan a boys' trip with my friends. He wants to do Vegas. I can't be responsible for what this cat does in another country. What do I do?
Yeah, you have to stop this now.
Yeah,
Uncle Marty.
I think Marty's done.
Yes, you made a mistake that you didn't know was a mistake at the time. You thought, hey, I love my Uncle Marty. I'm going to invite you out. We have an open spot in the scramble or the tourney or whatever. And Uncle Marty decided to floor it, and he left an impression on everyone. And everyone's like, hey, we love Uncle Marty. Here's what you got to consider is Uncle Marty, yes, he can keep up for a day on a golf course. He can't keep up in Vegas. And watching him try to keep up is going to lead to an absolute disaster. And you're going to have friends who are like, why is Uncle Marty in Vegas?
Well,
Uncle Marty cannot be
a problem.
Here's the thing,
it can't
guys.
happen.
I think the friends are like, yeah, bring Uncle Marty. Uncle Marty might have some deep pockets. He might pay for some stuff.
Yeah.
That's the thing where, it depends on the friendship group. It's like, okay, we don't mind this guy. He pays for stuff, and he can go deep. And who knows? Maybe Uncle Marty can handle himself in Vegas.
Hey, it's possible. Listen, you never judge a book by its cover. I don't know what's going on with Marty. I'm just saying Vegas is a different beast than like a couple of golf rounds.
Yeah.
And, hitting the 19th hole and having some cocktails. Like Vegas is Vegas.
I know.
And I don't know if
Supposed to
Uncle
go there
Marty
in a
can
couple
do it.
weeks.
The name Uncle Marty in Vegas seems like you're going to get your heart broken.
Yeah, that seems more like a Niagara Falls road trip, right?
Yeah.
Go hit the falls for a day with Uncle Marty and then call it a career.
Let's go to Dirk Pickler. Dear Hayesy-B, I am flying into Toronto from BC for Thanksgiving, spending a week in the GTA with my wife and 2 daughters under 3. I strategically booked our flight to return home on the Thursday after the Leafs home opener on October 11th. I am a diehard. Should I head down solo, acquire a ticket and completely floor it, or be a responsible family man and rest up for the travel day?
Well, I would say when in Rome, right? If you're a big Leaf fan, you're from BC, you happen to be in town, who knows when you're coming back, who knows when you're going to be able to get a home opener in. They're playing the Habs at home. I'm pretty sure
dunk.
it's the only time they play Montreal at home this year. I'd have to look that up, but I think they only play the Habs 3 times. I think you got to find a way to get in the building. And maybe to make it easier for you, find 2 tickets, right? Bring the significant other down. Find a way. You're in town seeing the in-laws or your parents or whatever. It's one last night with the kids.
Yeah.
Hey, can you take the kids before we fly home? You're not going to see us. We're going to BC. I think that's an easy sell. Leave tickets, a little surprise, floor it. You guys will both be good for the next day flight home.
I'll tell you what, Dirk Pickler, you better get your ass up and be ready to travel and no complaints and have a smile on and have everything organized. Get up extra early. Get everyone breakfast and prepared.
Yeah.
And do not slack or complain or you'll be in big-time trouble.
That's right, Dirk Pickler.
NHL commenter, Dear Hayesy-B, after some recent weight gain, I've noticeably lost a step in beer league. Decided to chuck some weights, change my diet to improve my game. I began drinking protein shakes. They taste great, but put my boiler in a state of emergency. Is there another way? ? Oh, dog? ?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, what do we look like? I don't know how to help with
the lactose intolerant. Is that what it is? Like the protein makes things
like the
go
protein
south?
shake. It depends on what you're putting in there, right? Like protein shake is just kind of an all-encompassing label. Like, oh, it's a protein
I know,
shake.
but
Well,
like
what else is going
if it's
in
whey
there?
protein, like some people that get bloated and things go south. I'm on this oatmeal thing right now. I take a lot of oatmeal, like powdered oatmeal in my shake.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, maybe
with
that's
the
the suggestion. I can't tell you, man. I'm not a shake guy. I'm not a big protein guy.
I have a shake every
Noodles,
morning
you just
for breakfast.
answered it. You just answered it and give the guy some oatmeal. We got time for one more.
Go ahead.
And
Dear
fiber.
Hayesy-B.
Fiber, a little fiber.
A bit of Metamucil in there.
Okay.
Oh, then
Watch it.
get ready. We have a grape and wine festival down in St. Catharines this weekend, and my in-laws want to go with me and my wife. The only issue is that my father-in-law is an absolute booze can, and I'm afraid that things will get out of hand in a hurry. Do I try to gas the in-laws here?
No, I don't think you can.
Oh.
But what if the father-in-law is just greased and he's acting like a moron?
Not going to be your issue.
I know,
not going to be your
issue. It becomes your issue. You know why? Because your wife says, "Look at this. Can you deal with this?" And you got to do something.
No, you don't have to. That's what. Listen, that means his wife is going to be there. His daughter's going to be there. You're third in line. You're not the one that's going to ever have to pull this guy aside. And if you're going to St. Catharines for like a wine and cheese thing, that's in-law territory.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's not like Uncle Marty where we're going to Vegas and they're trying to tag along. You know?
Yeah, but a guy that gets booze canned at something like that can make the wine and cheese party very, very uncomfortable.
It definitely can, and I don't know if they're connoisseurs, if they're sommeliers, if this is a big thing for them that it's really about the experience, or is it just about getting away and having a good time?
Yeah, you just got to mind yourself.
I don't think you can do anything.
No.
Honestly, what you got to do is floor it and stay one step ahead. Then you don't have to worry about anything.
So like your buddy gooned up together?
Exactly. If you're a step ahead of that guy, it doesn't matter what he's doing. No one's looking behind, right? If you're a pace car, you don't worry about who's behind you.
Yeah,
that is a good point. Maybe
Floor
if you put the pedal down and absolutely like lay on the gas pedal so you're maybe a little bit more cut than him, you just say, "Hey, man, keep in mind, like, this is a wine and cheese venture. Do not get stupid here."
Right.
You know what I mean? You get some of that
Absolutely.
liquid courage where you can talk to the father-in-law and say, "Hey, Larry, chill out here, brother. Let's have a good time, but let's not get crazy.
And you guys will be on the same wavelength, right? It's all good. Little wine and cheese in St. Catharines.
That's it.
There you go. All right. Dear Hayesy-B, another, I think, very successful week. A very helpful week.
That went well.
Very,
very supportive and helpful week. All right, our best bets brought to you by FanDuel coming up. Jays Rays down at the Trop this weekend. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and on the TSN app. All right, today's best bets are powered by FanDuel. Make your picks and assemble a same-game parlay in seconds on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. We're going for a moneyline parlay. Moneyline parlay, Buffalo Bills outright winner in Washington. The Commanders are 2-0, playing pretty well. Ron Rivera's been good, right? Sam Howell's been good. Eric Bieniemy's a mastermind offensively. I think the Bills roll this week. Bills moneyline, Packers moneyline at home against New Orleans. Home opener, Jordan Love at Lambeau. I love it.
Yep.
Patriots money line this week. Pats money line at the Jets.
Ooh.
That's paying plus 318. That's a
Careful.
tight game. I know
Careful.
it's a tight game, but Pats are 0-2. Jets are 1-1. Pats are a little bit more desperate. I think Belichick against that quarterback. I think it'll be an ugly game. Awful.
You think?
Game.
Yeah, he'll
Awful.
make it ugly.
17-14, but
Yeah.
I think the Pats win there. So that's your parlay for the weekend. Today's best bets are powered by FanDuel. Same-game parlays this NFL season now include passing touchdowns and receptions on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Please play responsibly. You must be 18+, physically located in Ontario. All right, we're expecting a beautiful weekend here. I'll be in the rinks early again this week.
Yeah, I've got an early
7 a.m.
I think I got an 8 a.m. or something. I don't know. Quinn's team has an app. So
you got an app going?
You got to check the app. Yeah.
There you go. Well, I guess no excuses,
Insane.
right?
It's insane.
Yeah. Well, I mean, these are the things you got to do as a parent. So, yeah.
Remember when we were playing hockey as kids, you got told like September 1st, by the way, there's a practice November 15th.
Yeah, that was it. They probably had the schedule almost for the year.
It was a piece of paper that went home with the dad or mom. That's it. And like if there's any cancellations, too bad.
I remember, I want to say the MTHL growing up, the schedule was in the paper.
Really?
I feel like one of the local papers had like the scheduling for all the different age groups.
We used to have like 6 a.m. hockey practice before before practice for school.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Like,
And
first
if there
time I
was
ever
any
heard my dad
questions,
swear.
Yeah, any questions, you were getting on the horn with somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, yeah.
We had to pick up my best buddy, Bobo. We'd always have to pick him up at 5:15 in the morning. First time I heard my dad use the F word, he's like, "This effing kid's never ready." We'd pull into the driveway, and that was his cue to be woken
be
up.
ready, and then he'd just be getting
The
out.
lights would come on at 5:15.
Oh, the McLennans are here.
Yeah, picking him up. It was awesome.
Laying on the horn, too.
9 years old. Whatever it
the
was.
whole neighborhood. Everyone's like, oh, there goes Bobo.
Bobo for a 6 a.m. practice.
Bobo's
I
getting
loved
picked
it.
up for a 6 a.m. Now you got an app.
We got an app now.
And
We're
now
ready.
you have, everyone's got access to an alarm, too, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Right beside you. All right. Thanks to everyone behind the scenes. Great week. Everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone, right? JP, the Grappler, Joe from the Bridge, everyone here at TSN, we appreciate the help. Everyone tuning in this week as well, radio, TV, podcast, web. We appreciate that. It's going to be a fun weekend. Jays down at the Trop. Big 3-game series. Seattle at Texas. Big 3-game series. NFL cooking. Leafs are on the ice on Sunday.
Yep.
Leafs got a preseason game on Sunday. We get in here on Monday. We're breaking down a game.
Wow.
Thing of beauty. We love it. We're out of here. Enjoy your evenings. Enjoy your weekends. We're back Monday at
4 p.m.
We'll chat then.